Have you ever slammed your finger in a door? If so, you know that it hurts like a son of a gun. Especially when you catch the tip just right, leaving you with a throbbing pool of blood underneath your fingernail. And when I slammed my finger in the door, my dad didn't take me to the doctor, he fixed it himself. Here's my story. It all started when I was leaving the kitchen, slammed the door, and caught the tip of my middle finger perfectly in the door jamb. The pain of the actual slamming was intense but quick, but what lingered on was the throbbing from the pool of blood that gathered underneath my fingernail. Every time my heart beat, I could feel the blood pulsing into that fingertip. It wasn't really painful, but boy was it annoying. Now at that time, I was on the junior high basketball team. Well, riding the junior high basketball team bench. I wasn't very good. So at practice that day, every time I touched the ball, the pain in that finger intensified. It would throb and throb and throb every single time I touched the ball. Something had to be done. That night when I told my dad about the problem, he immediately said, "Oh, I can fix that for you." And he went to the desk and got a large paperclip. I looked at him warily and said,
"Well, what are you going to do with that?"
And he just smiled and said, "I'm going to fix your finger." So he went to the stove and turned on the burner. Now it was an electric stove, so we had to wait for the coil to get burning red hot. Once the stove coil was blazing red, he held the paperclip to it until the paperclip was also blazing red. With my hand held firmly on the table, he brought the paperclip over and said, "Sit still." So he held my hand down and not so gently pressed the red-hot paperclip into the middle of my fingernail. That did not feel good. So what he was trying to do was burn a hole through my fingernail to release the blood from underneath it. The first try did not work. So he went to the stove, reheated it, brought it back. The second try did not work. He repeated that process 4 more times for a total of 6 times before he was finally able to successfully get the paperclip to burn all the way through the fingernail and release the blood underneath. The blood spurted out all over the table, but the pain actually was gone. It worked! So the relief was immediate, but now I had a hole in my fingernail. Well, this eventually caused my fingernail to die and fall off. And it took about 6 months to regrow a new nail in its place. Now, I did ask my dad,
"Hey, Dad, how did you even know to do that?"
"Well, one time it happened to me, and I went to the doctor, and that's what he did. He burned a hole in my fingernail with a medical instrument." So for some reason, when it happened to my father, he was able to obtain proper medical treatment. But when it happened to me, I received the rural farm life bush fix. Now, after all these years looking back, I don't lament what he did because he actually did solve the problem. I do question why he used a number 1 paperclip with a blunt end as opposed to something sharp like a needle, which probably would have had an easier time getting through the fingernail and maybe not have required 6 different heatings. But in the end, it is what it is. I have a great story, and it's something I'll always remember. And if it ever happens to my kids, I'm ready to help them solve their problem without going to the doctor. Did one of your parents ever perform a medical procedure on you at your house when you were growing up? If so, I'd love to hear about it. Drop it in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the thumb, hit the bell, subscribe, and as always, sincerely, thank you for watching.